Welcome to the podcast. I'm Ross Chapman,
And I'm Dana Publicover.
and we are go-getters.
It's a podcast all about ambitions and all the shit that gets in the way. So, what is getting in the way for you lately, Ross?
I gotta say, this wonderful weather in the UK, like everyone hates it when they don't get it, but it is pretty swell out there.
Is it warm?
It is warm.
Oh.
It is enriching. That vitamin D is just the best. And funnily enough, my lunchtime seems to be a little longer. Don't know why.
Coincidence. It's quite chilly here. The sun is out. There's no
Yeah.
rain, but it's very chilly. Or maybe this is just European warm and I'm not used to it because I'm from the hot as balls south of America.
How long have you been in Europe now?
6 months.
Okay, so you haven't got the full season.
No.
kind of
God, has
mapped
it
out.
been? Oh my gosh. 6 months. 6 months in lockdown. 6 months in
Okay.
Europe. Holy moly.
I feel that even in lockdown, the seasons are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the winter of my discontent.
Yeah. How about you? How's this week?
This week is really good. So Pitchcraft wrapped up Friday, and while I'm a person who feeds off of the energy of other people, and I'm an introvert and I love speaking to people, all of those coaching sessions, because I did one coaching session for everyone, and then I ended up doubling back and giving people extra ones because I thought they could just, with a little bit more help, they could go just a little bit further. And I gotta say, I am exhausted. I had after the closeout workshop on Friday, I had almost no voice. I was very hoarse because I spent the week talking, which is, maybe I should have spent more time listening. Maybe that's what my body's telling me. But I had a really, really lovely time, and I'm going to set about to imagine what the future of Pitchcraft looks like and what it turns into. So really pleased with how it came out, and most of the reviews are very good.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that and preparing this week is going to be kind of tough. My husband is having a fairly routine surgery, but we're going to be I postponed some client work so I can focus on the child care portion of that, and I'm kind of nervous because he's going to be overnight in the hospital and I'm going to be alone with the kids, and it's been a really long time, so I'm kind of nervous about it. Like, I know how to take care of them, but yeah.
It'll be great.
It'll be fine.
You'll find hidden depths. Maybe they've changed.
Maybe they're cool to hang out with now. I mean, they're 4 almost.
Yeah. You might need to level up like your knowledge and what you talk about with them.
I need to do some studying on Spider-Man. Apparently he has so many friends I've never heard of.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else in the life portion?
So last Friday, I heard that the students that I ran a 4-week program for in their UX upskill course at Hyper Island graduated. So they're all ready to hit the world. If anyone wants some really great design talent, user experience experts, anyone that needs to start anything with empathy, then totally look into someone that's been a Hyper Island student. They are untapped, amazing potential. They have asked me questions that I don't get asked normally.
Ooh.
They're very passionate and keen. And I think they're probably more skilled than some people in the professional industry.
Wow. You don't leave a lot of reviews. You're not a person who goes out of your way to leave a positive or a negative review.
I was utterly impressed. If I could, if I had, I would hire half of them, and there was 47 of them.
Oh,
yeah, really talented folks. Super good.
Great. We will link that in the show notes. Couldn't remember the name of that. Okay.
If they have those like open to work badges on LinkedIn, that will appear for about half a week. I think they'll get offers. So well done, students. You made Ross proud.
You made Ross proud. Wow. Big deal. So we have a news section tonight we're adding a fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our extra session. We'll just say new section. And it's Tool Talk, which was the original concept for one of the podcasts we were going to do together anyway, because Ross and I spend a lot of time texting back and forth about tools. I think one of the running threads of our conversations has always been tools. I'm a tool nerd. You're a tool nerd. We're always really impressed by new things that come out, and we always try them. I've tried every project management software known to man, even probably some that haven't even been invented yet. That's how in depth I am. And
they're not even on the market yet.
They're not even. No, I heard about them before they sold out, before they were cool. I have a t-shirt. It's very vintage. Yeah. So Tool Talk, what tool are we going to talk about today as I set the timer?
Well, we've talked about a lot of tools in recent weeks, but we haven't really used, I use the term, we haven't used them in anger, which doesn't translate very well. I mean, I haven't used it properly a lot. But one tool that we've both used is a tool called Notion.
Notion!
I'm sure some of this audience would have a notion about. But
no. He tried.
And I think you used it before me.
Did I? I thought I heard about it from you.
But you tried to do like some own installation.
Oh, I did some coding. Stuff. Yeah. I got really in there. I had to pull up Terminal on my computer and type in the
serious
matrix.
Business. Blonde, redhead, brunette.
What?
That's Matrix. You can't reference Matrix without knowing any lines in the Matrix.
I don't know any lines from the Matrix except the thing about the cat.
Ah, okay. So
anyway, I had to clearly tap across the table for tech support because my husband's a coder, and he had to help me. I had to pull a Git repository down, and I don't know what you say, post it to the term. I don't know. I had to like call it into the terminal. Anyway, to get Notion to do some really cool things. So it's called Notion Enhancer, and I think it's written in JavaScript, and it's free, and you can get it whatever. So that allows you to do a lot more of customization stuff. So I really dug deep, and I got really particular about my icons. I created a suite of graphics for Monday through Sunday. I created days of the week graphics that I really liked, just to make my dashboard look good. No dashboard I've seen looks as good as Marie Poulin. I don't know if she pronounces her name the French way.
I've run some of her tutorials. The Life Wiki one is awesome.
Yeah, she's the Notion expert. We should link that in the show notes as well.
Actually, it's not the Life Wiki one. It's the goals and objectives and how you measure that. Yeah, we'll link it all.
But I've been using it to kind of organize things for my life and create. I have a running list now of things that I can offload to my virtual assistant, which is really helpful because I don't feel like I leverage her frequently enough. So having a list of things I can send to her helps me use her more.
Cool.
Yeah. So got this podcast on there. I have our little icon and everything. And as I come up with topics to talk about, I put a list there. How are you using it?
Yeah. Would you say it's like a Google Docs killer? Like, are you using less Docs now?
It's a Google Keep killer because I was using Google Keep before. My main application of Notion is meal planning. And I've tried to program a formula that will just auto-populate 5 days of recipes and create a shopping list from that. And that I can't do that in code. I've tried, and then I got Jim on it, and then Jim starts building this huge custom software product that has grown just enormously. It's actually really cool, but it replaces Notion, and the whole point was to use Notion. But I decked it out with like images of the food and lists of ingredients and prep time and like sourcing links.
Hang on. So he started writing a enhancement or addition to Notion, but just somehow through osmosis created a new competitor to Notion.
Yeah, he created like a meal planning app.
Amazing.
I
Is he
know.
getting funding? Like, has
Oh,
he got
no,
his
I keep
pitch
telling
deck?
him you need to call Ross about this. This is actually a really cool product. So he's not interested in glory or fame. I don't know,
Okay.
which is good, I guess, because our stars won't compete for the spotlight.
Hmm.
Yeah, you should talk to him about it. It's really cool.
I use it for tasks. I've got one called Weekends, which is just all the weekend kind of chores and projects
Oh,
and things.
like a honey-do list.
Yeah, which was another template. Pretty much everything I do is through templates.
Mm-hmm.
Journal. I have a journal template on there, and goals, objectives, a tracker, and
What kind
a
tracking
huge
what?
document still. I set myself goals and then objectives to hit those goals each quarter. It's a bit over the top, but I
Wow.
like to do it anyway.
Are you meeting your goals?
No.
Oh. So kind of like your ambitions on this show.
Yeah, it's like, stretch every day
Too
because you're
soon.
always complaining about, just
Mm-hmm.
having, bad muscles or, savings goals. It's this much, you're 2% there. It's just that little
Uh-huh.
reminder that you just need to work harder and stop being a lazy ass.
Oh, see, I see that as just a reminder that I will fail and am failing.
Ah, okay.
Not that I need to work harder. Just, oh, you failed. You have failed. Go home.
Cool.
Um, we lost our time there. But I wanted to add, if you're willing to spend an extra minute on this,
Yeah,
that
bring on the tools. I won't always have the drills on the desk, so
no,
with
this is not
our
a morning radio show. Is that a thing in the
no,
UK? Did they do that too with the sound effects and the
I think they tried to phase that out when they realized that it was
yeah,
rubbish.
stupid.
Hmm.
Yeah. Notion has been in the last 3 months having weird outages.
Okay.
And while I haven't personally lost data and I'm pretty routine about backing it up, I've read a lot of people on Reddit who were experiencing just complete data loss,
Hmm.
irretrievable documents, etc. Yeah, so I worry about that. And there was an outage on Sunday. They told us it was going to happen, and then it
Hmm.
happened, and then it was over, like it said. So it wasn't like a maybe it was planned server downtime, but it just makes me nervous because if you're hosting your entire life on something and it's going down, 3, 4 times in a fairly short period of time.
Hmm.
Didn't you use it for proposals?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
cool idea.
It was a cool idea. So I would use it, and because you can share links with people, and the idea is I never want to give a document that you can't edit after the fact. That makes no sense in the digital economy in 2021. I want to
Interesting.
send something that can update over time. So PDF, Keynote, they're all out of here. I've stopped using PowerPoint for months now. I want to start a document, kind of like you would with a Asana or Basecamp, but with Notion, it's kind of like a Google Doc, but you don't need to log in to see it, and it works in that use case. I've also used Notion to host a website. I use it on the
Oh,
Remote Sprinters website, and I did take it to Webflow, and then I brought it back because it just works really well. So,
wow.
yeah, I don't want Notion to lose all its data on a Sunday. I want it to keep going, and yeah,
Yeah.
I there's a lot in there for me right now. I should
Yeah.
probably invest in it or something. There's a lot in there
At
right
least
now.
upgrade to the paid version. I'm still on free, and I was gonna say I'm on the free version, and I have a ton of stuff. I have all the use that I need right now.
Yeah,
Sometimes I think I'd love to have more images, and in that case I would upgrade, but it is fairly reasonably priced too, I think for the premium.
I had to go premium because it wouldn't let me downgrade.
Oh,
I thought
dark patterns.
it was probably a feature. Yeah, it wouldn't let me, and I talked to support, and I was like, probably the quickest way, as with all things, is throw money at the situation, and
Hmm.
it did. So, yeah, I could probably downgrade right now.
after we've given them some press.
Yeah.
Great.
But yeah, don't sponsor this podcast. You probably need that money for more servers or staff.
Yeah. Hold
All
on to
right.
that.
You know.
Well, you know what? I think we'll make up our time
Okay.
because I think our next topic we already agree on,
Mhm.
and it's our work topic.
Mhm.
So I'm going to start our timer here.
We agree on it, but I don't know what it's about. So let's
Oh,
go.
okay. So discussing your salary at work, something for generations we've been told, don't do it. It's not classy. It's gauche. It's tacky. Don't do it. That's because they don't want us to know what each other's making.
So set the context.
Set the context.
Is this a company with a number of employees? They're not
Yeah.
very transparent about stuff, maybe established for a while, and there's just a kind of, oh, what you're making, you don't know, and there's no transparency about anyone's. There's not even pay grades. I know Steph works at the university. They know they're on a pay grade,
Mm-hmm.
which everyone knows is a range. So they
Mm-hmm.
know where one ends and one begins.
Yeah, this is
So
different.
that's
So,
different. Okay.
yeah. So I was scrolling through Instagram, and I'm not employed by a company, nor do I ever hope to be again.
It's the future.
So anyway, I see this Instagram post. I follow it's gender equality in hiring, and it's a Jewish organization for women pay equality.
Nice.
And they put out amazing content. They have some really cool workshops that are free always. And one of the things that they posted was that you should be talking about your salary at work. And when I saw that in the feed, I paused, and this may be a cultural thing. So I'm from the US, and I have signed documents like your code of conduct when you come on board a company that says, I will not discuss my salary or bonus with anyone else.
Huh.
And so I thought, well, I, it's not allowed. You sign a thing. So I commented on this Instagram post, and they comment back that that is actually illegal. And they gave me all these resources, and they're like, would you like to be connected with our legal team? I'm like, oh no, this was years ago, but I know people who still work there. And that same company, when I came on board, I went from being freelance to full-time for them and was negotiating my salary. And they came back with a number, and I said, market rate is 25,000 above that. So that's what I'd like to be. And it was a back and forth. And then they felt like they were doing me a favor. And they're like, well, we're really going to expect a high level of output for this to get paid the market rate. We really need you to shine. And by the way, you can never tell the only other person on the team what your salary is. So pretty sure that person was getting market rate.
I've never seen that in a contract.
Well,
I can believe it, but I've never seen it. In my experience, it's always been oh, you don't talk about money. Like that's not a
not
thing to
classy.
talk about. No, and you know, if that even stems back to like family matters, it's not even
Right.
work. You
Yeah.
just don't talk about money. And I've been active about talking about money because I just
Same.
believe in a more transparent life, because transparency actually equals to fairness, or the pursuit of fairness.
When I started talking about money with other consultants, I realized I was charging half of what they were charging, and they had
Right.
half of my experience.
And how did you feel about that?
I don't know why I blanked. Because it's an emotional issue.
The rage was just building. It was
I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed. If these mediocre basic men are getting paid twice what I'm getting paid, they're asking for it and they're getting it, and no one is negotiating their price with them. And I've got more experience. I've got higher ranking clients. I worked with NASA. I worked with Google. I can put these names on my work. I literally ran a design sprint for the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Like, that's a big deal. And these guys don't have those kinds of names, and yet they're pulling these huge numbers out of the air. So I just started asking for it, and I still get some pushback. I get some negotiation. But instead of saying, oh, well, let me make it more work for your budget, I say, that's fine. Let me know when you can afford me.
Mm,
And that in itself has earned me a little bit more respect, I think.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I know if I was starting a company right now, that would be transparent as hell. It would probably be the most transparent thing.
Yeah.
And experts in the industry, no, you don't talk about that. No, because you're giving too much control to employees, and they won't stay around because they'll go after the other rate. And I'd be like, well, if they're driven by money, they probably shouldn't be here anyway. I'm honestly not driven by money, which I hear some people go and say that, and you're like, yeah, that's a really nice soundbite. But I'm actually not, because I've had, you know, paid jobs, and that's fine, but it's normally masking the fact that either it's dull and boring, or there's a huge element of risk.
My goal
I'm
is
not
just to my goal is just to maintain a feeling of being only mildly worried about finances. And that's, for me, that's the safety zone.
Yeah, you got to be hungry,
Yeah.
otherwise you're not going to put in more effort or grow. You're just going to be too comfortable. And ultimately, I think the longer you're staying in that lane and you're comfortable with money,
Hmm.
you fall out of relevancy because you're not forcing yourself to learn.
I just want to buy nice shit sometimes.
Hmm.
I think that's an adequate goal.
Uh, Dana, do you think it's more of a challenge, or just absolutely no, it's more of a challenge for non-men to talk about salary and to
Yes,
at least negotiate around it?
absolutely. Um, Case in point, I think you brought up my dear friend Brendan toward the end of an earlier episode.
I did, and I think this audience should know about that,
They need to meet
because
Brendan. It's time.
it audience, it shocked me that this is actually not just something that you've used, but you learned about this tactic from someone else.
Yeah.
So this isn't a one-off. Like, people are using
No.
it. Please share.
So Brendan was Brendan at the time I was Dana Dillyhunt. It was my maiden name. So it was DD Strategy. It was the agency that I ran. I had 4, 5-ish contractors who worked for me relatively full time. I juggled between 5 and 10 clients. It was mostly marketing and advertising. And I had the hardest time collecting payments. Every payment was routinely late. And I was talking to a friend of mine who ran a startup, and she had 3 women working at the startup, and they invented a man to handle the billing and the difficult client emails. They had his little profile picture and everything, and they gave him a real bouncy name, and he was just a real springy personality, just chipper and great, but definitely handling all of those difficult conversations. So I brought Brendan into the world in 2008, and he sent all of my billing follow-ups. And there was a difference immediately.
What
So
did you see?
so clients that I would send, hey, just to let you know, this invoice is 3 days overdue now. Let me know what your plans are to pay it. The late fee is now compounding, etc. Brendan would send an email, and he would be like, hey, bro, what's up? Just checking it. No. He was like, um, hey guys, just noticed your invoice is going overdue. Can I help you set up a payment plan, or get a credit card from you, and we can take care of this? And God, every time I would send an email, I'd be like, please, please, please don't ask for a call. Please, please, please don't ask for a call. Because I was thinking, oh my gosh, I would have to hire an actor to play this guy.
Hello, I'm
Yes.
Brendan.
Hi, I am a man. This but then, shortly after that, let's see. No, this wasn't 2008. I had the year wrong. It was 2015. That's important. It was 2015. And then shortly after that, I started dating my now husband, and he was trained in case Brendan ever needed to make a phone call. Actually, I think he did make a phone call for Brendan. He did. Yes. But yeah, immediate response within 5-10 minutes. Every email he sent was like, "Oh, sorry about that. Let me get that handled for you." So
The
if you're a
world is
woman,
broken.
yeah, if you're a woman, you're a consultant, get a Brendan. He's great. I think I'm about to resurrect him too. Hopefully none of my clients are listening to this. But may need a
I hope
Brendan.
they are, actually.
I'm not sure if oh boy. Hopefully some of my future clients are listening. You can hear all of the negative about me and decide, yeah, that's who I want to work with.
I want to see an email from one of your future clients say, Dana, great kickoff session. By the way, don't worry about sending Brendan.
Yes.
That's an email I want to see.
Yes. Yes, my secret is out. But yeah, that's my best advice to any female freelancer, contractor, business owner. Get a Brendan. There's
That's
there are women in Silicon Valley that hire men to like actors to appear at their startup pitches. They're called Muppets, man puppets. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing you can do, if you have a really strong opinion and no one's hearing you, just get a man to say it. Because when he says it for you, everyone listens. Also a form of muppetry.
Because of what you know, do you play the Brendan card knowing that it works, but also knowing it's not right, but also knowing when it comes to payment, there's very little option. It to me, as I hear that, I feel that it is just a reminder of the gender imbalance we have.
But it's not just a gender imbalance, it's a racial imbalance, it's a cultural imbalance. I mean, there's so many things. Like I, as a white woman, I have privileges that women of color and other people of color don't have. So for me, it's you recognize the system is broken and you find your way to navigate around it. And then you tell as many other people as you can to help them navigate it so that their path is easier. So instead of having to figure it out, they get from point A to point B faster. And now they're figuring out B to C. They'll help somebody else make that path shorter and pass that knowledge on. And you're all just doing what you can because I can't fix that. I don't see that there's anything I can do to fix it.
Yeah, you got to
Men
play the
have to fix
game.
it.
The
Right.
game is dirty.
So talk about your salary. And that's a way to fix it. Got all fired up there. Feisty. And we have a minute left. Should we just move on? Should we move on and talk about our learnings?
Yeah, go for that.
Okay.
What did you learn?
So I usually eat a lot of candy, a lot of Haribo, a lot of like fruit-based candy. But I've decided that the chocolate in Germany is amazing. So I've been buying more and more chocolate bars, and it's something that Jim and I can kind of share in the evening after the kids go to bed. And we've been like, I'll pick one out sometimes, he'll pick one out sometimes. And it's this really nice, like hunter gatherer type of thing. You know, you bring home a little piece of chocolate, we try new flavors. So I've been really curious about this thick fat bar, Tony's. It says Tony's on it. And it's got a cool wrapper. It's colorful. All the ingredients are in German. And I know caramel and salt now in German. So I could identify that one. So I said, okay, this is the day I'm going to get it. It's kind of expensive. It's like €4. But I thought it's heavy. It's thick. It's going to be good. It's got big quality.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So eating this candy bar, can't read the label. It's in German. And then the next day, I see this article in The Economist magazine, which is behind a paywall, so I couldn't read it. But it was about how Tony's Chocolonely, that's the name of it. I thought it said like chocolatey, but no, it says Chocolonely. And it's they're striving to make chocolate in the chocolate industry a 100% slavery-free industry. Which I thought, okay, I know that the chocolate industry is probably pretty bad, probably like the coffee industry and many other industries, but it wasn't something that I really think about too often. Again, coming from a place of privilege, I'm just eating my chocolate and trying not to think about, you know, all the other things like fast fashion and pollution and every other bad choice we're making every single day.
Oh, the
So,
fish you eat and the
oh,
cows and everything's on fire.
God, I'm not going to eat a fucking Impossible burger. I don't want it. Don't try to make me. Okay. So then I'm like feeling really bad and I'm eating this chocolate and I'm thinking about it. And I love the way that their English translation of their website, because I'm in Germany, so I'm getting the Netherlands website. You can probably get the US one in the US, but this is what I'm getting. Because I remember seeing that bar in the US. It comes from the Netherlands. So their mission, like I said, it's to make the industry 100% slavery free, but they're very transparent about the fact that it's not, and we're doing our part, but we're not getting very far.
That's
And
a real mission, by the way. That's not
dude,
like we're gonna sell one piece of chocolate to you and then give another piece of chocolate to someone who's not able to get chocolate.
when
Like
you
that's a
literally just
real
paid for both of them. Yeah.
exactly.
Like
But
you're
this is a real mission.
no, this is a real mission and
Yeah.
they're working really hard on it and I love that transparency, but I love their language surrounding it. And so as a writer, as a marketer, as a salesperson, I really appreciated that humility and that honesty. They're like we're a drop in the bucket, guys. We can't do this. So I also really love this was the most powerful piece. So when you open up the bar, it's not a grid. It's like kind of angly chunks.
Okay.
So when you break it, you know, you're like splitting it, everything is a different shape. And so I'm reading the FAQ on their site and it says, "Why is your chocolate divided weird?" And they go into this whole tirade about how it's about inequality because everything is they're like it makes sense that why would we divide it equally if things are not equitably split in the world. And I was like, oh, you guys, oh, that's good. Anyway, so happy to spend €4 on that because I feel like not only is it good, it's €4 good, it's also their mission. They're like really living it out.
That's
Yeah,
super cool.
I
That grid
know.
thing is that wouldn't happen if you didn't have creative people on your team.
Absolutely not.
Wouldn't happen. What's the most efficient way of doing this? Well, every other chocolate bar has grids. Okay, well, we want acceptance from other people, so we'll just do grids. Like no
Right.
thought whatsoever. But
No, when you're
it's
crafting your mission, when
yeah.
you're if you want to be a mission driven company and you say, "Oh, we're mission driven," and you're actually not, but like hire a writer, hire a creative person to make that sound good.
Hmm.
Because I will continue to spend €4 on that bar. What'd you learn,
Nice.
Ross?
My thing to share this episode is I found a video about Bryn Putman, who is the CEO and founder of the tech-based fitness company Mirror. Have you heard of Mirror?
Mirror?
Yeah.
Um, I I think I saw them at CES. Did I see them at CES? Are they the fitness mirror with the
Yeah.
yeah, with the coach? Yeah, I saw them at
Yeah.
CES Consumer Electronics Show in 2019, 20.
Mhm.
Is that them?
Yeah. So
Cool.
they are now owned by Lululemon.
Oh,
They were they sold to Lululemon for $500 million,
good God.
and the video, which we'll link in the show notes, was for me quite interesting because I like the origins of products, and you just think, oh, someone to me, I just thought someone just decided that this was a good product to have in the home because no one's going to gyms, or you know, how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to look at yourself and all that kind of stuff, because it's a mirror with a kind of video background to it, so you can pretty much do what you're being shown. What I didn't realize was the backstory to all of that was that Bryn started it years before. She was a ballet dancer and then came to kind of the end of doing that, and then started a fitness studio. And she was getting feedback, and some of the feedback was about doing fitness at home, and that's what led her to make a prototype. She got like this Raspberry Pi unit off
Oh,
eBay with her partner, husband, worked together on making this. And then for 2 years, they improved that through stealth,
wow.
created a community, and then eventually brought it to market. And all I took from that, please watch the video. It's like 14 minutes long, but it's not about, hey, I've got this great idea. It's, I've started something, then I got some information, I tried something, I
Worked
experimented
really hard on it.
really hard
Yeah.
for, you know, for what? And she wasn't looking for money. Like it wasn't a goal to do that. She just had this want and this belief that she could do something and make it more of a viable option for well, I say viable, it's a really expensive piece of kit.
Yeah.
um
Yeah,
but
but so is the
make
Peloton, and people pay for that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And right now, and you know, 12-18 months previous to this moment, it was the right time for this to be in the market.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So if you do have 14 minutes, do watch it. I'm always inspired by founder stories and how they started, and I just thought it was super cool.
That's awesome. Oh, that is so cool. I will totally look at it. The
Mhm.
one I saw was, I want to say, from an Asian country, and it was about it was measuring BMI and fitness results, but it had a trainer link up. So I don't think it was the same thing. I don't know. That is
Yeah.
super cool. I love that. I used to volunteer. I would give marketing and sales training for free to people at a startup space back home in North Carolina. And so many people came in, and they didn't have a startup idea yet. Their idea was they wanted to get rich and be a billionaire. And
It's never the right goal.
no. Getting rich is like a consequence of having a great idea. It's not a path to getting a great idea.
And that's why everyone goes on the kind of CBD oil and Bitcoin, and it's all the kind of get rich quick type schemes.
Yeah.
The, you know, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and you're doing it with everyone else, which means there's too many people doing it anyway.
Only already rich people can get rich quick.
Yeah, you've got to make something valuable,
Yeah.
and then people will tell you that by giving you money.
Validation
That's
in
validation.
cash.
Just get it. Super tactical tip for anyone that knows anything about anything. Try and look into being a advisor to either a group of startup founders or a venture firm or anything, because anything that you know has value, and you could get some quick money that way through your knowledge.
Yeah, venture firms were some of my greatest clients when I was starting my marketing agency back in
Cool.
2015, 2014.
Ah.
Yeah, they're great. They have money, they have resources, they know good work when they see it, and they see the
And they have
value.
no clue. They don't know
No.
anything.
They're beautiful. They're lovely people. We love them. Rich friends. So, also, they always treat for dinner. It's the best. It's the best. They go to all the best
Oh.
restaurants. Oh, yeah.
Ah.
It's been so long since I've been treated by a client. Like, I think I'm in the position now where I need to treat the clients. Oh, I'll call. I'm looking for unique client gifts that feel a little luxury and feel a little personal. I've been buying a lot of plants lately and sending potted plant gifts, like a big cactus or a big monstera. What are they called? Monstera. I think that's just what they're called.
Yeah.
But I want to go beyond plants. I want to do something nice. So if you hear of anything, please let me know. Yeah. I want to send nice things, you know?
Nice gifts.
Yeah. No more. I'm not doing gift cards. I'm not doing coffee boxes with mugs. I want to send people nice shit. So let's talk about ambitions.
So what was your ambition last week?
Oh, it was self-care. I remember because I wrote it on a Post-it right after we talked, and I put it on my mirror so I would remember every day instead of trying to schedule. And I mostly did it. I didn't book anything following Pitchcraft, but it took me till the end of the week to finish Pitchcraft. So it was like 3-4 days of self-care before we recorded. So it's going well. I've read a ton of books. I think I read 4 books over the weekend and started a 5th and, making some progress on that. Visiting the Bridgertons, reading a series adjacent. It's Bridgerton adjacent. It's the Smythe Smith musicale series, if anyone's interested.
Say again, Smythe Smith.
Smythe Smith.
Smythe Smith.
You'll get it if you get it.
Okay.
Yeah, and so and I read the sequel to Crazy Rich Asians, which was China Rich Girlfriend. It was surprisingly good. It's camp. It's just how rich people live, but it's so just enjoyable. It's just like reading gossip, which is my favorite thing. So yeah, self-care in the form of reading and lots of bubble baths. Feeling good.
Amazing.
Yeah. How about you? How'd you get by on your ambition?
My ambition last week was looks quickly.
Check the mural. When in doubt, check the mural.
To make a talk on facilitation.
Oh, how did you do?
I decided that would be a lot of work. Actually, to be honest, I didn't look back at it. But what I'm going to do instead, and to build on that ambition, is start sharing everything I know for free from next week.
This is a great strategy. I love this strategy.
Yeah. You don't need to go to someone's course. You don't need to watch other videos. You don't need to read any books. You could just watch me.
Wow, that's a bold claim.
I know, that's really rank.
Wow. That's aggressive. That was, for you, that was very aggressive.
So I'm going to share how to facilitate in the way that I do, which isn't to everyone's cup of tea, to use a British colloquialism. I will share everything I know because it's going to help. And actually, if I offload everything I know, like in a Sherlock Holmes kind of way, that will create room for me to learn other things.
Right.
So yeah, I'll share. Yep.
I don't think you're going to make money from beginners, and the knowledge you have is much more helpful to beginners and people in the early part of their career. Those people can't afford you at the rate that you should be earning. So
no, I don't want to. I might even run ads to it. I don't want to charge because this industry is such a wonderful industry that gives back so much that I would like to add to that. There will be absolutely no call to actions. You won't need to sign up to my newsletter. You won't need to tweet at me or anything. It's not for audience building. It's for giving back. So I started understanding where the value might be. I asked last week in my shrewd feedback loop whether a template to start planning workshops would be useful, and they said yes, so that will be the first thing to do. And then I'll share how to facilitate with a bunch of strangers. And if people want remote design sprint kind of tips, then I'll share that. I could run one, but I don't have a good customer for that right now. If there is a need, then we could do that. But I was reminded with the Hyper Island students coming into the market and the near 3,000 people in the remote sprinters community that the best thing I can do is just share more and more and more and more unique that I can make it, the better. So
I love that. That's great.
So the ambition, thank you. The ambition would be to start sharing that from next Monday. So when we record this next week, I would have shared something valuable to the community.
Okay.
And that has to happen.
Yeah.
I will make that happen by starting to share that I'm going to do that. And then it's going to create this pressure to actually do that, which is the only way
accountability.
It's the only way I get anything done is the market is asking for it and expecting it. And I don't want to let them down.
Give the people what they want, Ross.
Yeah. So That's fun.
Great. Well, that's it. So that's the end. This has been the Go Getters. And you can find us at Go Getters Pod on Instagram. And you can find us most of the places you listen to podcasts.
Give us a review if you enjoyed listening, and share this podcast with someone who needs to hear it.
That's all I got.
Me too. See you next week.